everybody, it's Christine. It's time for Scraplift Crafternoon, and I'm also going to try to use up, well, this may be tricky, but I'm going to try to use up some of my counterfeit kit here because I've only got a few more layouts this month. Sorry, Saturn is, I know, honey. Let's sit here. Anyways, I've only got a couple more layouts left, and I still have these papers here, so I need to try to use some of this, y'all. So I've got these, I think I'm going to go with the bright color. So if I say that, yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. I still have these left. I do not know if I'm going to get these used or not, because I kind of like this brightly colored thing. I've got this picture of my daughter. It's just a real close up. I don't even know who took this. I think her friend might have took it. She'd had her makeup done or something. They were going somewhere. And I just think it's kind of pretty, and it's, I don't know, you know, just kind of a beauty shot or whatever. But let me show you the layout. It's by Stephanie Louise on Instagram. If she has a YouTube channel, it'll be down in the links below. I have to admit, the other ladies do a lot more behind the scenes administrative work than I do on the hop. I typically will do the layouts and all that, and every now and again I'll suggest one. But honestly, Tara does all the work on the Google Docs, and then the rest of them, they're always great about asking people. I don't know. I'm terribly lazy, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that way, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways, this is a cute little list. She's got a white cardstock background. There's like some mixed media in the middle here with some paste or something. So I pulled out my, well, here it is. I pulled out my little stencil here, and I pulled out some paste, and I'm half debating. I've pulled out this Dilutions. I might try to mix it and make another color. I don't know, y'all. I haven't done that before, so we'll see. And then she's got one picture that she's kind of got some florals, a little title over here. I think she's probably used some little stickers. If I zoom in, it looks like these little clear stickers. I think those were maybe Hip Kit, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'd have to pull more stuff out of my stash. And I keep adding to my kit instead of using it up. So, and then a bunch of little like dots and things. So, and then she's kind of used scraps, you know, to build these little layers. So anyway, that's what I'm starting with. I have to, now that my picture's a little bigger than hers, which, okay, it is what it is. I've been debating here because I go, okay, do I go get a piece of white cardstock? Do I try to use one of my papers as my cardstock? Do I use the back side of one, you know, to kind of get it out of my stash without having to buy, you know, go get a piece of cardstock? But really, I've only got these two, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. I may just go get a piece of cardstock. But anyway, that's what I'm starting with. So give me just a second. I got to kind of figure out my layers and stuff here. And I'll be back on in a second. All right, so the first thing I actually decided to do was exactly what I said earlier, which was take that paste and then add that Dilutions. And I'm not going to lie, I think it turned out just beautiful. Now, I first put way too much paste out there. That's not paste. I don't know what it's called, really. Mousse or something. I don't remember. But anyway, I squirted that stuff in there. Well, the coolest thing about this is the paste itself has like a gold shimmer to it. And the Dilutions, when I start mixing that in, it makes the coolest effect, y'all. It's got this turquoisey thing with this gold shimmer kind of built in. It is so pretty, and it kind of breaks my heart because I cover up about 90% of it. So I'm definitely going to have to do this again because I definitely think this turned out just beautiful. You'll kind of see when I put on there, I think, see how that little gold with the bluish tinge to, or I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks gorgeous. And so I do this, and then I get, you know, I'm like, okay, that looks really good, and I don't want to screw it up. So I've got to let it dry. So I'm going to run off. I'm going to cut the camera off in a second. I'm going to run off and clean my paste and stuff up here real quick. But then I am going to hop back on there, and I'm going to take that Dilutions, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit so it kind of gives it like a little extra something here. I have to kind of get that and tap it with my fingers, y'all. And so I kind of get that Dilutions everywhere, and I think this looks really pretty. I'm not going to lie. I will probably do this technique again because I do think this turned out just beautiful. But I set it to the side because I don't want to mess up the paste or anything, so I'm going to try to build my layout basically on my little board here. I know it's 12 by 12, and I kind of can eyeball it in a sense, so I just go, okay. So I'm going to start trying to figure out my layers here. I definitely like that blue as kind of one of the main colors. Not that blue, but the little turquoisey blue that's at the bottom. But I also want to use those little birds. So I'm just kind of looking through, sorting through. I probably should have maybe edited this out. I don't know. But I'm going to build my little photo mats. I did decide, because the back side of that bird paper is white, and I go, well, Christine, you're probably not going to use the whole sheet. I just went ahead and used the back side of it as my little white photo mat. And so I'll just trim that just a second, because I definitely needed to separate the picture. It just wasn't going to look right otherwise. And so I didn't waste that paper. I was kind of pleased with myself. And then I messed up my blade, y'all. I changed that out the other day because it was kind of dull. And this one don't want to stay on for some reason. I don't know if I've done something to it, if I broke it or something. I mean, it's usable, but he flies off all the time. I don't know what's going on with him. Okay, so I'm going to cut my little photo mat here. I do have to reference the layout, honestly, quite a bit, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, how she got these layers going on. So you'll see me kind of reach over. That's where my iPad's setting. So I'm going to cut away in just a second, because I'm just going to basically start cutting these paper mats here, these little layers. I'm going to end up with the little bird as the first layer, the turquoisey thing is the second layer, and then in the original, there's a few little like colored strips at the top on the left side and at the bottom on the right side, and I will just use scraps for those because I don't need to cut in a whole sheet of paper. So you'll see me in just a second. We'll have all those little papers cut. And again, it wasn't rocket science. It's just cutting the little layers up, and you can kind of see the little strips I got going on. And at the top, I had pulled out that one strip up there that's kind of turquoisey, but it's lighter. And then I do the little birds again because she did repeat that pattern. The very, very top, she used a different pattern, so I was okay using that. I've scuffed the edges of all the little layers and stuff like that, and you can kind of see I'm just figuring out, okay, if it's 12 by 12, this is about where it goes. And I'm testing this here to see, well, let me see just a second. I think I glue this down first, and then I'll kind of think about it. I stick my fingernail in one of the little dots, y'all, at some point, and it's dry enough to work with. There it is right there. So I go, okay, I can start gluing stuff down on it. But I do kind of attach these photo pieces together before I do that, because I figure, well, if I give it just a few more seconds to dry, I can do that. I just didn't want to mess up my dots because they were so pretty. I'm like, I don't want to squish it because, y'all, I'm so clumsy. I've told y'all that before, and I didn't want to mess them up. So I was trying to wait as long as possible to make sure they were completely dry. And so I'm kind of assembling these little pieces here separate. And in a second, you're going to see I'm going to actually trim that right-hand side one because he's too wide. When I do set it down on the 12 by 12, you can't see my little dots at all. So see that? You can barely even see them. So I will try to trim that right-hand side off about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or something. And so it brings it over just a little bit. And I'm just kind of adjusting these. And then I'm going to look at my top piece in just a second after I glue these down. And y'all, I'm going to realize I want to switch. I want to change the pattern. So I'm gluing these down. And again, like I said, in a second, I'm going to grab that top piece. Now, I know the top piece is actually too thick. It's like 1.5 inches or something. So I know I'm going to trim it. So I'm kind of looking at it. I'm okay, I trimmed it down. But then I'm going to flip it over to put the glue on it. And I go, hold up. Hold the horses, y'all. This little pattern has all my colors in it. It's got the little blue. It's got the pink. It's got the yellow. So I decided to go ahead and use that as my pattern instead of the blue. And y'all, I'm not going to lie. I'm a collection scrapper, generally speaking. I typically stick within a given collection, although I might grab stash stuff to kind of embellish with, but paper-wise, I typically kind of stick with a certain collection. Or like with Vicki Booten, you can kind of combine some of her stuff because she's the same designer, and even Hip Kit. You know, there's certain things like that it kind of crosses over. But to just build my own kit from inspiration, I don't think I struggle to build the kit, but then using it, I always feel like, does this look right? Does this look right? So I had to have something in my mind to bring all these colors together, and I thought that little pattern at the top was kind of perfect. So I've got those glued down. I did glue that little pattern strip with the birds on top of that. And now I'm thinking my title here is going to be Super Fly. I thought this was cute because she's all, you know, makeuped up and everything. And I thought, okay, this is a cute little title. So that's my title. And then I'll have to get into my florals in just a second. I'm just double checking. Is that the title I really want to use? And I decide, yes, that is the title I really want to use. So now I'm going to get over into my little stuff over here. And there's some florals. And I'm going to start pulling these out. But again, this is where I struggle sometimes with these colors because I wasn't certain, you know, I'm like putting them down and go, but then I go look and I go, no, the yellows are in there and the pinks are in there and the purples are in there. We're okay. So I just have to step outside my comfort zone a little bit. I did pull out this little puffy arrow. It looked to me like she had some little, maybe it was chevron arrows or something on hers on that little section right there. But I went ahead and pulled that puffy arrow out. And I put the floral up there. Luckily with these florals, they're kind of in groups already. So I don't have to build like big groups of florals. The other thing is where I was kind of putting some of the florals where she had them, I felt like it was covering up my picture too much. So I'm going to end up shifting that around just a little bit. I start with that yellow flower at the top. He doesn't stay there. And the flower that's on top of her head right now, that does not stay there. That looks a little strange to me anyways. It's like, it's not on her head. I don't know. It just looked a little strange. So I'm going to switch that out in just a minute. I do use butterflies. She didn't use butterflies. But in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm calling this Super Fly. And so I kind of thought the butterflies worked. I thought it looked kind of cute. Here's where I switch out that little piece there. I go, no, I don't like you on top of her head there. So that's going to go behind. And I'm going to set that to the side. I don't end up using that. I have that big floral cluster on the bottom right. And I add a tiny little flower next to it. And I have the butterfly at the top and the other little strand. I think that's really most of what I do with the ephemera. I don't think I actually add anything else. I don't know what I'm doing right now because I'm kind of sorting through here, but I don't pick out anything else, y'all. Okay, so I hop over into these enamel hearts because she did have a few little hearts, and I start off with purple, and I don't hate it, but I decide I don't love it. So I'm actually going to change the colors pretty quickly. I just don't know. It just felt like I didn't have enough purple. You know, there is purple in here, but it just didn't, I don't know. It didn't feel right to me, so I'm going to switch that out for pink. I'm going to take it up and go, nope, you need pink. I'm not going to suggest to you that my daughter is a pink kind of girl, because she definitely was, you know, she was an athlete and all that kind of, she tends to lean more toward like a coral or a teal or something versus like the girly pink. But that's okay. This is a girl layout, so we did it. All right, so I picked all that stuff up, and she had a little bit of journaling in the lower left down there, but I'm going to just use these little Tim Holtz small phrases. Now, this was not in my kit, y'all. I realized it. I pulled it out of my stash, and I also pulled out those pink jewels over there. She had a lot of little, I'm thinking it was enamel dots. Again, I haven't watched the video or anything like that if she did have one. I think there were enamel dots kind of sprinkled throughout the layout in amongst all the little circles and sprinkles and things like that. So I pulled out those pink jewels to use for that. But I put these 3 little phrases down there. One says, darling, you're a work of art. The other says, shine like the whole universe is yours. And the last one says, use your wings. And I thought, again, I'm kind of going back to this whole fly theme, right? There's butterflies and superfly and all that kind of stuff. I mean, superfly is obviously like a little slang term for good looking, I guess, I think that's from the 90s, y'all. I can't swear on it. I feel like there was a song or something from the 90s. It had Superfly or something in there. Anyway, I'm just taking these little jewels here and just kind of sprinkle them throughout the layout. And that is basically all I'm going to do to the layout, y'all. Here's the slowdown. Take a look here. Make sure you check out the list, the little playlist. We always have one. The ladies always, we have a whole bunch. Oh my gosh, y'all. I love having all the ladies do it because our interpretations are always, I just say always so different. Some of us end up thinking a lot, but many times they're so different. I love looking at all the different interpretations. So anyway, that's it. That's it for today. We will see you probably Tuesday, I guess. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.